jumping straight in, this Corvette looks insane. We got this and a few other images, and ultimately this video specifically, well, it's going to be focusing on your issues with Need for Speed Unbound. Of course, we're super hyped for the game. I'm super excited. It's literally less than a month away, but we do need to take a step back sometimes and really look at some of the potential issues, because we are going to be playing this game, hopefully, for 2 years. This one was an interesting one. This is some clothes collaboration. I don't quite know how to feel. However, I also feel I shouldn't be talking with my H&M 3 for £10 t-shirts. This is Versace, I think is how you pronounce it, because normally as I said, H&M. I always want to say Vsauce when I read that. These are the highest quality versions of these images we've got. They're a little bit pixelated. They're probably Twitter compression, but this Corvette looks amazing. And this is a Porsche and Puma collaboration, which is actually a pretty sick one. So anyway, let me know in the comments, what are your problems? Let's jump in with what you guys think. First one, they're worried about the map, and this is quite a good one to really talk about. I really wanted to dive into this one. I think this is a very fair point, considering the fact that Need for Speed Heat, in my opinion, had probably the best map that we've had in such a long time. It was held back by the fact that there was particularly no reason to explore it. This is a thing that games keep doing, and it drives me insane. You create these amazing worlds, yes, but you can enjoy the driving roads there. Sure, it'd be nice to have a reason to drive to locations, things to collect, and I'm not talking about collectibles. I have a war on collectibles. I think they're stupid, they're useless, and if they follow those categories, then they are stupid. Unless there is a proper reward for doing some exploring, like a derelict, I actually get a car at the end, good. If I get a sticker at the end, don't know if I'm gonna bother. This map actually looks properly sick. It looks huge compared to previous games. A lot more intricate roads, a lot more smaller. Basically, it looks more filled out, and that's what you want to see. But incentives to do so are very important. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna. Microtransactions is the next one, and I completely understand why anyone would worry about this after looking at EA's other titles. We're talking FIFA, and we're talking, Battlefront, but then they got fixed, I think. I've actually had to go back to my other video. In-game purchases is what it said on the screen. This is for the PEGI version. This is a different ratings board, but essentially they confirmed that in-game purchases are here. This is the American version. Anyway, so they were saying in the comment that they put it unapologetically. Essentially, they have to put that. That's legally required to put it. That's why they did it. Now, microtransactions by definition depends who you ask, but to me, it's buying money in the game, buying something like that in-game. That would be Need for Speed Payback, and that was removed after Battlefront got all the anger. I've always said that microtransactions, when done correctly, in my opinion, are fine as long as they don't push people away from being able to unlock money in the game or whatever. We don't know how it's going to work, but essentially it's going to be in-game purchases. It could literally just be DLC cars, which is a form of microtransaction or in-game transaction, which I don't think any of us would complain about potential purchasable cars as long as they give us enough free stuff. I think games have figured out nowadays that to basically make it impossible for someone to unlock it by grinding, well, that's just bad business. It's going to turn away your long-term players. An example from my end would be clothes or dances or something like that. I don't care. I wouldn't buy any of it, but someone would, and then they can fund our free updates. So go right ahead. That's why I'm like, you know. So the issue with this comment is that this person is allowed to comment at all. Okay, no, sorry, I'm no bullying, but really? Seriously though, this one is, I think, a fair point. Now, I get to speak of this on a unique perspective, being a person of color, being a minority. This is something that I see thrown around a lot, and a lot of people, I think personally, kind of misuse the term. To be honest, the actual definition of the term doesn't really mean anything at all. Problem I see, it gets thrown around a hell of a lot in other media, and I totally get why it feels frustrating to have something forcefully placed in there for the sake of it. I'm personally not worried because I was worried about it in Saints Row. I was worried that's what they were pushing, but I played Saints Row and that looks like the most woke game to come out in a long time, and I did not feel that in the slightest. It just felt like a refresh of characters. There was nothing woke about them. As I said, I do see significance in movies and games and whatever putting non-white characters on the lead. It's pretty rare when you really think about it. I'm not at all into superhero movies, for example, and is it because there's no representation in that? Potentially I'd be more interested if there were, especially from a young impressionable age, when you don't see people looking like you in a game or a movie or whatever. If I give you two amazing examples, that is Into the Spider-Verse, which was amazing. I really enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse, the movie and the game, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Don't think I need to say anything else there. But onto the other part of it, which was about the grind, or then potentially getting rid of the grind. I don't see that being a thing. I kind of trust them on this. This is something that they've done well for a good while. I would say every Ghost game, which this is both based on a Ghost engine, uses Ghost car models. It's a Ghost game in its birth. The highlight of the risk reward trailer and things like that, I still think it's going to be a nice balance of where it's going to have a grind, but it's not going to be out of reach for people that don't want to put all that time in. Selling your vehicles, well, that's been confirmed, my friends. To confirm it, you can see buy and sell your vehicles. You do it from the garage is essentially how you do it, or the safe house, should I say, safe house. Now, an important message on stance tuning. This is a tough topic to say, but right now, I really hope we get it good. Stealing GTA Wise Guy's video here. This was what the tuning was like in Need for Speed 2015. You had a lot more options, a lot more customization. But to be honest, a lot of the time, it still didn't fit perfectly. But the fact that you could do this, you could then mod it and do more. It had the best stance tuning. And I don't know why this kind of went away, because once it did go away, we were given really terrible stance. It just made more sense to let us do it. I think tire width needs to be a new thing as well. I don't know why we still don't have that option. Well, I should hope we do, maybe. I think it's super fair to be worried about the stance. What is the fitment on that Mustang? We've spoken about this. The fitment is properly broken, but the problem is, now the fitment's fixed. What? The fitment just seems to chop and change. It seems to be fine and then not. Throughout all the trailers, this is the case. In fact, right at the beginning, well, it seems okay here too. There's no consistency. So please let us choose it, because you guys clearly are struggling yourselves. But I do think this is the big one for a lot of people, is the lack of PS4 and Xbox One support. You know me, I totally get it. I'm always for more people playing. That's why I'm a support of crossplay. I don't want less people to be able to play, but we're at this point in time where this console generation has been going on a while now, and realistically, at some point, we need to just close the bridge, and we need to allow these new consoles to breathe. They're already talking about how the Xbox Series S, not Need for Speed specifically, but other developers are already saying the Series S is holding them back. So now imagine having to keep making a game for what, like 7, 8, 9 systems, and there's probably going to be pros, PS5s, and Xbox Series XXs. I don't know. We gotta cut them some slack. But I did mention to you guys there may be a way for some old gen players to check out the game, and we'll get to that. But you know, I would just build a PC. And this is my personal one, and I think a lot of you guys really we got on with this one. The 4-5 player lobbies, should I say parties, is not that great, and that's something I personally want to see improve. Yes, you might not have that many people to play with, but the point is, if you made a public lobby in a community on Xbox or something, only 3 or 4 people could join you. Like, I don't think that's ideal for anyone. I think that for me personally, I would love to be able to invite you guys to my game, and of course keep my lobby open so that we can come up with games and enjoy free roam together. But think about league racing, for example, that people like to do, competitive league racing. It's just not going to happen. It's not possible with that little people. We're gonna have to, it would take 20 years to do one race, swapping each player out, you know. Anyway, that is your worries and a little bit of mine with Need for Speed Unbound. Hopefully that went over what you need to know. But of course, if you have any more, let me know and I'll keep you updated. Smash like, subscribe, and peace.